Nessa, what's going on? How can I help?
I had a baby last year in July, and my husband and I decided that we were going to kind of follow CDC guidelines and do everything that we could to keep our new baby safe during a pandemic.
Okay.
And it caused a lot of tension on his side of the family. And it started out with passive-aggressive comments, and then all the way up to his dad messaging him, saying bad things about me, and now they are trying to manipulate and gaslight the situation, and say things like they're not, they'll just wait and see their grandson by the time he's 21 and things like that.
Hey, listen, because they're not my family, when adults act like 4-year-olds and throw 4-year-old temper tantrums, I love it. Now, if this was happening in my house, it would not be funny. So I'm laughing at you, not with you, right? But
no, I get it.
I need you to know. Oh gosh. So you do anyway. So how can I help? How can I help?
I'm basically, these conversations now, like my relationship with them is extremely strained. I tried to sit down with them and have a face-to-face about why these things are hurting me and how it's not personal, and like this is literally just about the safety of our baby, and it's just gotten worse. And so I'm just wondering how do I move on and like be okay with that myself, and at least like be okay enough to help them continue to try to have a relationship with their grandbaby.
Man, you're not gonna. This is so frustrating, man. This is. I cannot stand it when grown-ups act like children, and I cannot stand it. Not even out of some trauma, right? Just because we aren't getting our way, right? So if a grown-up throws a fit and they've got some stuff from their past, they're working through some heavy stuff in their life, I get it, man. That happens. But when grown-ups just throw my 5-year-old doesn't throw these fits anymore. And then they leave you, the new person into the family, the mother of a small child, trying to figure out how you can best heal the situation, a mess you didn't create. Oh, geez. Okay, so a couple of questions. How is your husband navigating this?
Sure. So when the messages came through,
by the way, good job, grown-ups. I'm gonna text these really hard things because I'm so grown up. I won't even call you and say them to your face. I'm gonna send them in a text message. That way to go, everybody. All right, continue.
Right. So he called his dad immediately and was just like, "This is completely out of line."
Because your husband's a grown-up. Good job. Excellent.
Right. He's like, we make all of these decisions together. This is my son. I am his father. Like, I'm doing the best that I can, and we're both new parents. This is our first kid, too.
Dude, look at your husband, man. Way to go.
Yeah, so it's the first time that he's kind of stood up to his parents and kind of drawn that line.
Yeah.
And so he's handling it like a champ. He's doing amazing. And
awesome.
And it sucks because now his brother is starting to get involved and calling him, and they had a big fight over the phone about all of this and stuff. And so he's doing the best that he can in the situation, and he's amazing.
Yeah, man, I hate that for y'all. All right, so here's the reality of your situation. Number one, I'm going to flip this whole thing around, okay?
Sure.
Absolutely. This could not have been a better situation for you guys. And here's why. You're dealing with two immature people, and this was going to come out sooner rather than later. It was going to come out when your kid was spending a week at their house. It was going to come out when they didn't like the way you were disciplining their grandbaby, right? As though that trumps your, right? Like, it was going to come out, and it was going to come out in a big and bigger way. The difference now is the kid isn't involved. Right? The kid is the proxy for this power struggle. But there's not a 5-year-old or a 9-year-old or a 13-year-old downloading their insights into how poor your parenting is, right? So where I'm telling you this is the best thing that could have happened is you got to let two people, you got to see their true colors And now you get to build really firm, strong boundaries. This is in a weird way brought you and your husband closer because you got to watch him stand up for that lady he loves, right? And you always wondered if he would. He did, right? And he stood up to his parents and to his mama. That's hard, man. And to his super aggressive texting father. It's so ridiculous. So good for both of you. Now, the reality. This sucks, right? This is not good. This is not how you drew it up. Of course, you didn't want to have a baby in the middle of a global pandemic. Of course, you didn't want to have a baby when you couldn't leave and go spend time with your friends and family. Of course, you had these visions and dreams of grandparents coming in and being involved, and all that's a mess. And then on top of that, it's turned silly. So what I'm going to tell you is this. I want you to forget the relationship part. You didn't create that mess. You chose to respond to your baby in a certain way. And I want everyone to listen to this. I'm not high-fiving her decision. I could care less what she chose to do. The reality is she chose, you and your husband chose. I'll call your husband Bill. How about that, Nessa? So Nessa and Bill decided we have a new baby. These are the boundaries around our baby. And Bill's parents threw a temper tantrum. It doesn't matter what they are. I've had friends who are like, hey, before you walk into my home, you have to do 30 push-ups and wash your hands and get a colonic and all the, like, dude, I just want to hang out. And then I've had other parents who will just hand me your kid while I'm mowing the yard and be like, hey, here you go, man. So every parent's different. Doesn't matter. They get to set the boundaries because it's their kid. And so what I want you guys to do is this. You guys have now seen a world where grandparents are going to act like children. Here's the deal. They're going to come around, okay? They just are. And I want you guys to not lose your dignity. Don't lose your character. Don't lose who you are in order to make that work, because that's never going to work, right? So y'all get to decide. You get to decide who you're going to be, what kind of boundaries you're going to have, and you're going to have to create a new universe that doesn't include his parents for a while until they choose to grow up and interact with their grandkids on their terms. And if brother wants to jump in the mix, bro, you're hurting mom's feelings because, but cool. Then, then he gets to decide what he's crossing whatever line he wants to cross, right? And all you're doing is you guys drew boundaries, and obviously a boundary-free family, right? And then people are going to run up and hit their head on those boundaries and see if they hold. And now you guys just get to hold them. And it's lonely and isolating and frustrating and annoying. And you're going to weep and you're going to be sad and you're going to wonder, what am I doing wrong? What you're doing wrong is you're deciding what kind of parent you want to be, and you're sticking to it. I can't tell you anything magic that's going to make them not immature. And I can't tell you anything magic that's going to make you less frustrated at how they're responding. You know what I mean? I hate that for y'all.
Yeah, no, absolutely. No, I get it. I get it.
So is there a season where, like, let's say in your immediate community, the restrictions are lifted. Your husband gets a text, Bill gets a text here in a few weeks and says, hey, we both got vaccinated. We're both good. We'd love to come see our grandkid. Are you poisoned now to that relationship where you don't even want them around? Or
no,
are you gonna welcome them in?
Yeah, no, I've always welcomed them in. I've always been the one to send them the resources, to invite them to FaceTime call, to do whatever they can to connect with him. That's always coming from, like, me, mostly. And so absolutely, please come in. I've kind of built up this compartmentalization almost to where their relationship with our son is completely separate from their relationship with me. And I try to get them involved in the new milestones that he's, doing. And, I'm extremely the same, like, nice and kind, and, all of that interaction's the same. So absolutely.
So you got to know, Nessa, this is going to start over time to put a strain on your marriage. And I want y'all to be upfront and honest with each other throughout this process, okay?
Right. Yeah, we made an appointment for marriage counseling to kind of come up with a game plan on how to navigate this moving forward.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So
and
that's in the works.
When you feel that first shard, that first little splinter of resentment against your husband, because there's going to come a moment when he's just going to say, hey, can we just let him come by? Right? And can we, like, is there another thing can we meet them halfway if they all wear masks? And like, is there
That's happened.
It's already happened, right? Okay. So when you start to see him changing sides on you, that's probably not happening. He's trying to find a middle ground. He may have met with a doctor. Right. He may have, and somebody said, hey, it's okay for grandparents to hug your baby. It's okay. And all that. As you go through that, make sure when you start to feel like he's switching teams on you, make sure you stop and pause, and not in an accusing way, not in a let's go to war against you two way, but say, hey man, I feel like we're switching sides here. Is there something you want to talk about? Tell me where this is coming from, right? And it's probably him doing the best he can to not lose both his mom and dad and his wife at the same time, right?
Right.
And that's hard. And I want you to commit to where you feel like you can. It sounds like you've got really firm boundaries, and you don't want those to sever a relationship, right? You want people to respect who you are and where you are, which I think is great. I also want you to always make sure you are checking those boundaries. Are they appropriate? Are they right? Get somebody in your life. I love you're going to see a marriage counselor. Make sure those boundaries don't become brick walls, right? If they become brick walls, then you end up walling yourself in as much as you wall other people out. And so make sure those boundaries, when they're drawn around medical issues or beliefs, not values, but they're drawn around beliefs, man, there's some flexibility, because at some point you may read a new book. You may have your doctor may meet with your child and they may say, nah, you're good, man. You're good to let them hug, whatever those things are. So make sure that you are able to remain peaceful and flexible, but at the same time, I'm proud of you for standing strong. I'm proud of y'all for working hard on this together, and I'm proud of y'all for saying, we see a forest fire in the future. Let's head down this road and go meet with a marriage counselor. Good for you. Parents, when you have grandkids, they are their kids first, and then yours. And I know you've been waiting for this moment for so long. I know that you fill in the blank. They're not your kids. They're not. And you remember back when people took advantage of you and frustrated you and said, why you let them wear that? Why you let them look like that? And you know it's annoying. Don't repeat that. I tell you what, man, I won the lottery when it came to parents and how they respect me and my wife, our boundaries with our kids. It's incredible. And I know I'm really fortunate and privileged with that, because not everyone gets that. So thank you for that call, Nessa. Let me know how that marriage counseling session goes. I'd love you to reach back out and let me know how that goes. Y'all working together to come up with a game plan moving forward. And I'm grateful for the call.